As you settle into your most comfortable position, let your breathing soften and your thoughts drift gently, because tonight you are stepping into a world woven with warm candlelight, soft snowflakes, and the quiet magic of Christmas. Merry Christmas, dear listener, and a peaceful Happy New Year to you. Let this story hold you, comfort you, and slowly guide you towards sleep. Welcome to your Christmas dream. Tonight, you become a part of it. Part 1 begins here, the snowy path. The night air was crisp, but not cold enough to bite. The kind of winter air that kisses the skin rather than stings it. As you walked along the narrow village lane, each step pressed lightly into fresh snow that glowed under the soft golden lamps lining the street. The entire world felt hushed, wrapped in a blanket of peaceful silence broken only by the slow fall of snow. You felt as if the evening itself was breathing with you, slow, rhythmic, calm. Christmas was close, just a heartbeat away, and with every step you felt its warmth settle a little deeper inside you. Tiny flakes drifted down from the sky, melting when they touched your coat, and you found yourself smiling without even trying. Something in the air felt different tonight, as though the universe was gently nudging you toward a moment you didn't yet understand. You had visited the old Christmas market every year, ever since you were young, not for the shopping or the treats, but because of the feeling it gave you, a quiet sweetness in your chest, a tender kind of nostalgia that always returned with the smell of pine and cinnamon. But tonight's walk felt more meaningful, as though every lamp glowed a little brighter, every snowflake sparkled a little longer, as if the night was preparing itself for your arrival. As you approached the old stone bridge that crossed over the frozen stream, you glanced up at the tall clock tower in the center of town. It chimed softly, a gentle echo across the snowy rooftops. The sound rolled through the winter air like a lullaby, warm and calm, sinking right into your heartbeat. You closed your eyes for a brief moment and breathed in the scent of pine drifting from the market ahead, the scent that always made you feel safe, warm, and somehow loved. When you opened your eyes, soft lanterns guided your path toward the Christmas market gates. The stalls glowed like embers under the falling snow, each one filled with little treasures, handmade ornaments, steaming mugs of cocoa, knitted scarves, and delicate glass crafts that shimmered under the lantern light. You stepped inside the market, letting the warmth wrap itself around you like a blanket. The world softened, colors richer, lights warmer, sounds quieter. Everything felt dreamlike, slow and comforting, as though the evening wanted you to move gently, without rush, without worry. People wandered the stalls in cozy coats, smiling softly as they held warm drinks and whispered to one another. Couples walked hand in hand, their breath mingling in the cold air like small clouds. You felt a gentle tug in your chest, not of loneliness, but of longing, something tender, romantic, waiting to unfold. You wandered through the stalls, admiring little trinkets and glowing ornaments, until a faint golden light caught your attention from the far corner of the market. It was softer than the other lanterns, warmer, almost like candlelight, behind frosted glass. Curious, you followed the glow between two wooden stalls. There, tucked away as if hiding in plain sight, stood a small wooden shop you were certain had never been there before. A carved sign hung above the door, dusted lightly with snow. Even before you read the words, you felt a strange warmth rise in your chest, as though the shop itself was calling to you. Slowly, You stepped closer and read the sign. The Christmas Clockmaker. The letters were carved elegantly, glowing faintly in the warm light spilling from inside. You hesitated for a moment, not out of fear, but because something about the shop felt enchanted. Soft, magical, romantic, in a way that made your heart beat just a little faster. Your hand reached out instinctively, fingers brushing the wooden door, and as you pushed it open, a warm wave of scented air washed over you. It smelled of pine, cinnamon, warm wood, and something else, something you couldn't name but felt deeply. The room was dimly lit with tiny golden lanterns, their light dancing over dozens of delicate clocks that lined the walls and shelves. Each clock ticked softly, but together they created a harmony so gentle it felt like a lullaby made of time itself. You stood there in the doorway for a long moment, letting the warmth seep into your skin, your breath, your heart. It felt like stepping into a dream meant only for you. Then, as your eyes adjusted to the golden glow, you saw someone standing behind the counter. Someone you had never seen before, but instantly felt drawn to. The stranger's eyes lifted to meet yours, soft and warm, as if they had been waiting for you to arrive. Something inside your chest loosened, softened, warmed. The stranger's smile was gentle, almost familiar, and in that moment you felt a quiet, romantic pull, subtle but undeniable. A feeling that whispered, "This night will change something." "Welcome," they said in a voice that felt like warm velvet, slow and soothing. "I'm glad you came. I've been expecting you." Their words made your breath catch just slightly, not out of surprise exactly, but because deep inside you felt a strange certainty. They meant it. And as you stepped fully into the softly glowing shop, letting the door close behind you, everything in your heart told you that this quiet Christmas night was only beginning, and something beautiful was waiting. The clockmaker and the stranger. The warmth of the little shop wrapped around you like a soft blanket as the door clicked shut behind you, shutting out the cold world and sealing you inside a cocoon of golden candlelight and gentle ticking. The air felt still, peaceful, and heavy in the most comforting way, as though time itself slowed down the moment you entered. The stranger behind the counter watched you with eyes that held a kind of quiet tenderness, a softness that made your heartbeat settle into a calm rhythm. Every clock in the shop ticked in perfect harmony, each delicate sound blending into a gentle lullaby that soothed your mind and relaxed every muscle in your body. You felt yourself drifting, not toward sleep exactly, but toward a deeper state of calm, the kind that only happens when someone looks at you like they understand you without you needing to speak. The stranger moved slowly, gracefully, stepping closer with a careful warmth that made your chest flutter. They were surrounded by the soft glow of lanterns, their silhouette outlined in golden light, giving them an almost dreamlike presence. "You found us at just the right time," they said, their voice low and warm, the kind that sinks into your skin and stays there. "This shop appears only when someone needs it." You blinked, taken by surprise, though a strange part of you had already felt that truth. "Needs it?" you asked softly, your voice naturally quiet in the gentle atmosphere. They nodded with a serene smile, then turned to a small velvet-lined box on the counter. With slow, deliberate movements, like someone handling something sacred, they opened it and lifted out a delicate silver clock no larger than the palm of your hand. Its frame shimmered faintly, reflecting the lantern light in soft waves. The hands of the clock were frozen at 11:11, unmoving despite the ticking around it. You felt an immediate pull toward it, something warm and strangely familiar. The stranger held the clock gently between their fingers, then stepped close enough that you could feel their warmth, close enough that your breath almost mingled with theirs. Their presence gave you a strange sense of comfort, like standing next to someone you had known in dreams long before meeting them. "This," they whispered, "is the Christmas clock." You swallowed softly, the sound quiet but noticeable in the still room. "Why is it frozen?" The stranger smiled, a slow, knowing smile that made your chest tingle. "It chooses a person every Christmas Eve. When it chooses, its hands stop until that person is found." They looked down at the silver clock, then back up into your eyes with a gaze so gentle it stirred something deep inside you. Tonight, it chose you. Their fingers brushed yours as they placed the clock in your hands, and the touch sent a warm, tingling shiver up your arms, spreading through your whole body like a soft wave of heat. It wasn't the kind of spark that startled. It was the kind that comforted, the kind that made you want to lean just a little closer. You held the tiny clock, feeling a faint warmth pulsing from it as though it had a heartbeat. Your own heartbeat slowed to match its rhythm, steady and soothing. "What does it mean?" you asked, your voice an airy whisper. The stranger stepped even closer, their presence calm and steady. "It means you've carried too much this year. Worries, hopes, unspoken dreams, quiet sadness, the things you never share." Their words wrapped around you like soft arms, comforting and heartbreakingly accurate. You didn't know how they knew, but somehow it didn't surprise you. Somehow it felt right. "The Christmas clock freezes time," they continued, their voice gentle enough to lull you deeper into the moment, making you feel warm, cherished, and understood. Just long enough for your heart to rest, long enough for you to feel something pure without the noise of the world. You looked up at them, and they were closer than before, close enough that the soft warmth of their breath mixed with yours. Their eyes held yours with quiet affection, an intimacy forming so naturally it felt like destiny rather than coincidence. "Why me?" you whispered. The stranger lifted a hand slowly, giving you every opportunity to pull away, but you didn't. You couldn't. Their fingers brushed your cheek with the lightest touch, soft enough to feel like a dream. "Because tonight," they murmured, "your heart is ready to be seen and to be held." The touch lingered, warm and gentle, sending a slow bloom of heat through your chest. You felt safe, deeply safe, in a way you hadn't felt in a very long time. Their thumb traced the smallest arc across your cheek, so tender, so delicate, so full of unspoken affection, that you found your eyes fluttering closed for a moment. The room felt even quieter, the ticking of the clocks fading into a soft, melodic background. "Come," the stranger said softly, offering their hand. You placed your hand in theirs, the warmth between your palms almost electric in its softness. They guided you to a small table near the fireplace where a gentle fire crackled, casting slow-moving shadows across the wooden floor. The warmth of the flames added to the dreamy stillness of the room, wrapping both of you in a soft glow. You sat together, knees brushing under the table, the closeness sending a quiet, romantic tension into the space between you. The stranger poured warm spiced tea into 2 small cups and handed one to you, their fingers brushing yours again, deliberately slow, as if savoring the moment. You both spoke in soft voices, exchanging stories, little memories of past Christmases, tender hopes for the future, quiet feelings that normally stayed locked away. The stranger listened in a way that made you feel cherished, seen, and gently held. Every time they looked at you, their eyes softened, making your heart melt a little more. The warmth of the fire, the glow of the lanterns, the gentleness of their presence, everything wrapped together into a feeling that lulled you deeper into peace, deeper into comfort, deeper into something beautifully romantic. By the time you finished speaking, you realized the night outside the shop had grown completely silent. The snow paused mid-fall outside the window. The stranger smiled softly, as though hearing your unspoken question. "The clock hasn't started yet," they whispered. "Time hasn't moved since you walked in." Their hand found yours again, warm and steady. And soon, you will understand why. The frozen moment, the warmth of the fire seemed to deepen as you sat there with the stranger, your fingers still loosely intertwined, a soft connection that felt natural, effortless, as though your hands had been waiting for each other for far longer than tonight. The room glowed with a slow golden shimmer, and every clock around you ticked in a steady, soothing rhythm that blended into the sound of the crackling fire. It felt almost like the clocks were breathing, like they were alive in some quiet, magical way. You took a slow sip of the warm spiced tea, feeling the heat move down your throat and into your chest, relaxing your shoulders, softening every part of you. The stranger watched you with gentle eyes, their gaze tender and steady, as though simply being near you brought them a calm joy. Outside the window, the snowflakes hung suspended in midair, frozen in place like delicate crystals caught in the moment of falling. The lantern lights in the market outside had stopped flickering. The world paused as if holding its breath. You felt a strange, dreamy peace settle over you as you noticed it, a sensation almost like sinking into a deep, warm bed, safe, protected, softly wrapped in stillness. "It's happening," the stranger whispered, their voice warm enough to melt any lingering thought or worry. "The Christmas clock has begun its work." Their thumb brushed gently over the back of your hand, a motion so light it sent a soft shiver up your arm. A shiver not of cold, but of warmth, connection, and something quietly romantic blossoming between you. You looked around, mesmerized by the stillness, by the beauty of it, by the calm that wrapped around your heart. "So, time is frozen?" you whispered back, your voice naturally quiet in the serene space. The stranger nodded slowly, leaning just a little closer, close enough that the faint scent of pine and warm spices clung to them, close enough that their presence felt like a gentle embrace. "Just enough for you to rest," they murmured, "just enough to let your heart breathe without the weight of the world." The words were soft, soothing, almost like being lulled into sleep by a tender voice that knew exactly what you needed. You felt the warmth of their knee brushing yours under the table, a subtle contact that made your breath feel a little softer, a little warmer. They looked at you with a gaze that felt intimate in the gentlest way, a gaze that said they wanted you to feel safe, cherished, understood. "Tell me," they whispered, all but because no one had asked you that in such a tender way before. You felt your throat tighten slightly with emotion you didn't expect, and the stranger seemed to sense it. They lifted their free hand slowly, giving you the chance to move away if you wanted, but you didn't. Their fingers brushed your cheek, warm and soft, their touch slow and deliberate, sending a warm wave through your whole body. Their thumb traced a gentle line along your jaw as they spoke again. "You don't need to answer with words," they whispered. "Just feel. Let your heart speak in its own quiet way." You closed your eyes for a moment without meaning to, letting the warmth of their touch settle deep inside you. A calm sigh escaped you, slow and peaceful. When your eyes opened again, the stranger was still watching you, their expression soft, affectionate, filled with a quiet longing that mirrored your own. They leaned closer, the closeness gentle and unhurried. Their forehead touched yours for a brief moment, a tender brush that made your breath catch softly. The fire crackled beside you, casting slow-moving shadows that danced around the room like warm, sleepy spirits guarding the moment. "This," they said softly, "is your moment. A moment without time, without pressure, without anything except what your heart truly feels." Your chest rose and fell in slow, even breaths. You felt yourself sinking deeper into the dreamy stillness, a kind of serenity you hadn't known you were missing. The stranger's fingers slid down to hold your chin lightly, lifting your face so your eyes met theirs again. Their voice dropped to a whisper, barely above a breath. "If you let yourself feel, you will find exactly what you've been waiting for." The clocks around you ticked in soft harmony. The fire glowed warmly, and the snow remained frozen in the air outside. Everything stood still, suspended in the magic of a single breath, a single heartbeat. Your heart beat slowly, warmly, deeply, its rhythm matching the tender pull between you and the stranger. The world was frozen, but the moment was alive with quiet, romantic energy. Your lips parted very slightly, a soft, instinctive response to the closeness of their face, the warmth of their breath mingling with yours. The stranger smiled with a sweetness that made your chest melt. "Don't rush," they murmured. "We have all the time your heart needs." And in that suspended, glowing moment, you realized the truth of it. Time had stopped for you, for this connection, for this quiet, blossoming romance that was beginning to warm the cold winter night. A Christmas kiss. The warmth between you and the stranger deepened as the frozen world outside shimmered in its silent stillness, every snowflake suspended like a tiny star waiting for its cue to fall again, while the soft glow of lantern light wrapped both of you in a dreamy cocoon of gold and warmth that felt almost unreal. The stranger's hand held your cheek with such tenderness that your heart fluttered softly, not with nervousness, but with a calm, romantic longing that felt as if it had been growing quietly inside you long before tonight. Their thumb brushed over your skin in slow, delicate strokes, each touch melting deeper into the quiet softness of your soul, and the gentle harmony of the clocks around you joined with the crackling fire to create a lullaby of warmth that made your eyelids heavy and your breathing slow, deep, and peaceful. The stranger leaned closer, just enough that you could feel the warmth of their breath mixing with yours, their forehead lightly touching yours again in a moment so intimate and slow that it felt like time itself was sighing. "This night," they whispered, their voice soft and velvety, "is yours, and whatever your heart longs for, the Christmas clock will give space for it. You felt your heartbeat echo in your chest, steady and peaceful, and as you looked into their eyes, gentle, shimmering, filled with a soft affection, you felt a warm, romantic pull, an unspoken invitation that wrapped around you like a blanket. Their hand slid down to gently cradle your jaw, guiding your face in a slow, dreamy motion that made your breath tremble just slightly. They were close now, so close you could count the soft flecks of gold reflecting in their eyes. "May I?" the stranger breathed, asking not with urgency, but with the kind of tenderness that made your heart melt entirely. You didn't need words. Your slight nod, slow and dreamy, was enough. The world around you grew even quieter, the clocks fading to a distant hum, the fire softening into a glow as the stranger closed the tiny space between you. Their lips touched yours with the softest, slowest kiss, a kiss warm enough to melt winter, gentle enough to lull your mind into a peaceful haze, deep enough to make your whole body relax into the moment. Wasn't hurried, wasn't bold, but tender, dreamlike. Each second of that kiss stretching into something timeless, something beautifully suspended, something that felt like a soft promise wrapped in warmth. Their fingers slid lightly along your jaw as the kiss deepened just a little. Still slow, still sweet, still wrapped in the sleepy magic of Christmas Eve. You exhaled softly against their lips, a quiet sound that the stranger responded to by holding you just a little closer, their other hand finding yours again and squeezing gently, grounding the moment with warmth and comfort. When the kiss finally softened into stillness, the stranger kept their forehead against yours, both of you breathing slowly, sharing the warm, quiet space between you. "Merry Christmas," they whispered against your lips, their voice low and full of affection. You whispered it back without thinking, your voice soft and sleepy. "Merry Christmas." The clock in your hand glowed faintly, warming your palm. The stranger smiled tenderly, brushing a final soft kiss to your cheek. "And an early Happy New Year," they murmured, "a year that will begin with something beautiful." You felt your body sink into a deep sense of comfort, a dreamy heaviness that made the world feel soft around the edges. The fire crackled lazily, the golden lights shimmered gently, and the stranger held your hand as if it belonged perfectly in theirs. As your eyes grew heavier, the stranger whispered one last time, their voice a sleepy caress against your heart. "Good night, dear one. May this Christmas dream wrap you in warmth." And in the frozen glow of the Christmas night, with your heart full and your breath calm, you drifted deeper into the soft warmth of the moment, held gently between time